Today I've really prepared to teach the topic tautology. I came to realize that people around have been using some of the expressions that are not right in the standard English. So I deem it very necessary for today to treat tautology as a topic. Thank you.
Okay. So listener, I welcome you once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Doctor.
Okay. I will go straight to asking you the question because we have a lot of things to do today. You also have to treat the topic you have for today, which is tautology. Yeah. So that it will go straight to our YouTube channel. People who want to watch the topic, today's topic, will go to our YouTube channel and watch the topic. So basically, you're going to finish tautology today. Is it too big or?
I will select those commonly used ones in this part of the world, in Nigeria, the tautology as it affects our environment. So it's not be too valid. I have a lot of them to talk about.
Okay. What is tautology?
Tautology simply means the unnecessary repetition of expressions or words in the same statement. When one continues repeating a particular word or different words that have the same or suggest the same meaning in the same expression, making the person sound stupid and silly, we say it is tautology.
Okay. I took this question, the questions I'm going to ask you, I just wrote it down a few minutes ago from our Facebook page and our YouTube channel.
Okay.
Now people ask these questions a lot. So it is good as the teacher, online teacher, for you to clarify them by answering these questions, and I hope they get to know the correct answer to these questions. Okay, number one question says, the person says, Amarachi from Enugu. He says, sir, which of the no, it's not Amarachi from Adekoloja from Isiokpo River State. Adekoloja is asking you, sir, which of the following expressions is correct? Which of the following expression is correct? I stand to be correct, or I stand to be corrected. Which of these expressions is correct? When somebody says, I stand to be correct, or I stand to be corrected. What can you say about that?
All right. These two expressions that he has put there, definitely one is correct, one is not correct. When somebody says, I stand to be corrected, it should be, I stand to be corrected. And that statement is usually made when somebody has made an opinion or has made a statement which he thinks somebody may challenge him or somebody may say what you are doing or what you said is not correct. So if that situation arises, the person will say, I stand to be corrected, not I stand to be correct. I stand to be corrected because the statement has been made and he's expecting somebody who thinks he knows better than him to correct him. So it should be, I stand to be corrected. I stand to be corrected. That's the right thing to say.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Adekoloja from Isiokpo River State, I hope you will get to know the correct expression to use. I stand to be corrected is the correct expression to use. And the second question is coming from Amarachi. Now the question says, I want to know when exactly English language came into Nigeria. In your first series, your first episode, you talk about introduction of English to Nigeria. So the person is asking you, when exactly was English language introduced in Nigeria?
All right. According to the story, according to the history, because it's not history, I wasn't there, but according to what history says, they said the white men came into this part of the world as the shores of Africa as far back as 16th century. And the history has it that they came in here in the mid 16th century. and they started having business with us, spreading the gospel. They came in as Christians and also as merchants. And when they started doing business with us, as long as they were speaking their language, they started spreading it. So the language came in 16th century, which is about 400 to 500 years ago. It's not today, it has been a long time in this country, in this world, in this part of the world.
Okay. So you said it was
in 16th century.
16th
16th
century.
century. This is 21st century, so it's about 4 to 5 centuries ago that came here. So this country, today Nigeria, has witnessed this language from about 500 years now.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. And the third question says, Sam, you said that no African, no matter how educated, can speak English language exactly like the white man. Jerry from Aba is asking you this question. You said that no African, no matter how educated that person can be, English language cannot speak English language exactly like the white man.
Yes, I made that statement, and it still holds. We found out that every language has what we call the language units. Every language has its features. Every language has its units. Just as we have Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa as major languages in Nigeria, they have their unit, they have their features. And when you have a language and you start making use of that language in speech, that language begins to develop its units in your speech system. And when you develop those features, when you want to speak another language, there will be an interference from the one you have already started speaking. That's your mother tongue, we call it language one. There will always be an interference of that language one into language that's the target language. That is to say, as long as you're an African and you were born here and you have already started speaking your mother tongue, and you're now speaking English or learning English as your second language, we call language two, or a target language, definitely there is an unconscious transfer of the speech units of your mother tongue into that English language, and that will automatically make you not to speak exactly like the white man, because that interference, which we usually call the mother tongue interference, will be affecting the second language. In fact, that is why you have in Nigeria, if an Igbo man speaks English, you definitely know it's an Igbo man. If a Yoruba man speaks, you say, this is a Yoruba man. If a Hausa man speaks, you say it's a Hausa man. Let me just give you a highlight of what I mean. We know that the Igbos, especially the Anambra part of the Igbo land, there's a way they pronounce words, especially words that have to do with L and R. If a typical Anambra man wants to pronounce the word rice, you will hear rice. If you want to say London, you will hear London. If you want to say blood, you hear broad. If you want to say brother, you hear blooder. With apologies to those that are from there. It is not that they don't know what they are doing, or that they don't know the real spellings of these words. If you ask them to spell, they will spell correctly. If you ask them to pronounce, they will pronounce just what I've said now. And the real analysis will now find out that the Anambra man realizes R as L, while he realizes L as R. So there is an interchange of those two sounds in his speech unit. So if you ask him to speak English, there will be the interference of all these errors in his unit. Now we also have our brothers from the northern part of the country, the Hausas. We find out that the Hausas also realize P as F. Why they realize F as P? That is why Hausa will say pipe when you want to say 5, and they say 5 when you want to say pipe. When you want to say 50, unfortunately we hear 50. So all these things are not deliberate fault, but they are just the interference of the mother tongue in the second language, that's the target language. And that is why exactly we cannot speak. We can try as much as we can, but we cannot speak exactly like the white man, because we have a mother tongue interference that will also hinder us from speaking like that.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Destiny. I think that was well explained, and I hope it answers your question, Jerry. I hope it answers your question correctly. Okay, the fourth question, I just have about 6 questions to answer you People have been asking a lot of questions, so we'll take this thing one after the other. In
time.
another edition, we are going to ask you another question, a set of questions. So the fourth question says, I want to know what to respond when I knock at someone's gate and he asks, who is at the gate? Should I respond, it is me or it is I? So the thing is here, it is me or it is I. What should be the response?
All right.
The question is coming from Susan.
Okay, Susan. Susan, where is that?
Susan from Enugu State.
Okay, Enugu State. Yeah. All right. To answer that question, in the last series, when I was discussing the Concord Agreement, I said that some people, a number of people, find it difficult to know the difference between the use of I and the use of me. I think I mentioned that in Rule 3 of that Concord Agreement. And that is exactly what is happening here. Sometimes you may get confused of when to use I and when to use me, because both of them refer to the same entity. Now, you see that I is usually used in subjective case, as I said, while me is usually used in objective case. That means when you are performing, you use I, and when you are receiving, you use me. And the other way around, when the first person pronoun appears before the main verb in an expression, it is used as I. Then when the same first person pronoun is used after the verb in an expression, it appears as me. It's as simple as that. So if you go to somebody's house and you knock at the gate or at the door and the person asks from inside and say, who is knocking at the door? And don't be startled, don't get confused. Just say, it is me. It is me. Then you can equally say, I am the one. Then if you're not the one knocking at the gate at the same time and the person asks, who are those knocking at my gate? Then you say, either it is us or we are the ones. Remember that us is the plural of me, while we is the plural of I. And the I, together with we, the plural, are all used in subjective cases. While me, while us, which is the plural of me, are all used in the objective cases. Therefore, one should say, I am the one, or you say, it is me. It is me. That is what should be. That's what should be.
Okay, thank you. But I want to ask, because when you knock at somebody's gate and the person says, who is at the gate? What the person expects you to do is a little bit of introduction. Yeah. Because when you say it is me, the person doesn't really know who is at the gate.
Definitely, the person has the opportunity to ask another one.
By
what's your name?
Okay, what's your name?
Yes, if you say it is me, definitely the person may want to know the identity of the person that says it's me. Then you say it is me, Ngozi. It is me, Chioma. You won't say it is I, Ngozi, or it is I, Chioma.
For security purposes.
For security, yes, Ngozi. So you can go further to explain by adding your name at the back of me.
Of course, it's very important.
Yes.
Because when you knock at someone and the person says who is at the gate, personally, what I expect you to say is your name. Introduce yourself before I open my gate. Because if you say it is me, somebody else can say it is me.
Yeah.
And I'll just open it. Okay, thank you, Susan. I hope you understand correctly what to answer when somebody asks you such a question. So listen, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now we'll go straight to the fifth question before the last one.
Yeah.
The question is coming from Malaki from Kano. It says, which one is correct, sir?
Okay.
My sister delivered a baby boy, or my sister was delivered of a baby boy. My sister delivered a baby boy, or my sister was delivered of a baby boy.
All right. Sorry, let me pass the information. Yeah, very important information. I will pass to someone. Okay. Sorry for taking your time. All right. That expression, that is why in my last edition I was mentioning, somebody asked me, the difference between Nigerian English and other varieties of English language. I say that there are some expressions we use here in Nigeria, which we call Nigerian English, and it has to do with sometimes transliteration instead of translation. And this is another illustration of it. Definitely, when we make such expression, we should take the version of it on the area that the Englishman says. When a woman is in labor, in fact, when a woman is about to give birth to a child, to a baby, definitely it's the woman that is in labor, not the baby in the womb. So for that reason, we don't deliver a baby, rather we deliver the woman that is in labor. So it should be, my sister was delivered of a baby and not my sister was delivered, or my sister delivered, as the case may be. So it's my sister was delivered of a baby, being that the sister who is in labor was rescued, was delivered from that labor, from that problem, and that gave rise to giving birth to that child. So it's the woman that is delivered, not the baby itself. That is what it should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That was a nice question from Malaki. I think personally, I will say anything I want to say. Whether my sister delivered the baby boy or was delivered of the baby boy,
Yes.
the information has been passed across.
Yes.
But the correct thing to say is my sister
Was delivered
was delivered of the baby.
Yes, was delivered of the baby.
Okay, take notes. The last question, sir.
Okay.
The question is coming from Ozoma from Owerri. Question says, why are some words spelled differently in the dictionary? Why are some words spelled differently in the dictionary? This used to confuse me sometimes. Example, center, like SCENTRE, and center, CETER.
Okay, I've got the area she's going to, or he's going to. All right, now you see, it's not only you that it confuses. The person that sent this message. It's not only you. It confuses other users of English too. But there's something you have to know. Definitely, just as I said earlier, there are different varieties of English language, and American English is part of it. We also have standard British English, just as we have Nigerian English. Now, you see that most words have two spellings, indicating that they are used in different ways. That means the spellings are in different forms in the English of different people. Now, you see that, just as you said here, center, CENTRE, is the spelling of center by British. While center, CENTRTER, is the center as spelled by Americans. So you now see we have American English, that's American spelling for center, and British spelling for center. We have other words like that. Words like favor. America will say FAVOR. Why did you say FAVOUR? So they are all favor. We also have something like flavor, like that. So you now see that spellings also differ in different varieties of English. That is exactly what it is. Both of them are correct depending on the people you are following. If you are following American English, center will be CENTER. If you are following British English, spelling center will be CENTRE. The same thing with favor. If you are following American, it will be FAVOR. If you are following British, it will be FAVOUR. So both of them are correct, but it depends on the people you're following in their English expressions and spellings.
Okay, thank you, sir.